What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I see we have a couple of people in attendance right now. I am waiting on one of our lovely innate creatives. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pull together our images that we're going to do for today. And I can't think of the name right off the top of my head, but I know the name of her business is Noble Custom Designs. It's not showing up in the email here. If you're in the chat, give me a hey or something. Hey Amita, how you doing, love? And it's doing the same thing it was doing yesterday. It's kind of got split sessions right now, so it's showing the live on two different streams right now, which is so odd. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to contact YouTube to get that corrected, because I would rather have y'all in one place, but apparently it's splitting things up here. All right. Oh, I see we got Rick in the house. Hey, Rick. And Gladys and Velo are on the alternate video right now. So let me know if it's playing on both sides, because there are literally two live videos going on at once. One of them says quick tips, and then the other one says a live proofing session, which this is supposed to be. Yeah, it's different titles. It's like repeating the last title over and over again. It's getting on the last of my nerves, but y'all know I'm gonna work with it so that I can work with y'all. So I'm just waiting a little bit. I guess while I'm waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and prep the photos that I do have. And let's see what they look like and what we can do with them, whether they can be cut out or whether we just have to fade them. So I'm going to go ahead and go to remove.bg just to see what we're working with. And I'll go ahead and log in so that if we can get a good image, then I'll go ahead and download the full resolution version. And here, this is probably going to be a difficult one because of all the flowers, but let's see what it does. Yeah, it had a very difficult time distinguishing the foreground from the background. So I'm going to actually open it up and see if there's anything that I can do to optimize the image. And I have to open it with Photoshop. Yeah, it's a pretty busy picture. It's probably very difficult to see the foreground from the background, but I'll show you a couple of things we can do with that. And as a matter of fact, these are a couple of pictures that I'm probably going to have to do something with just to make them a little bit better quality for a memorial application. Now, typically, if somebody sends me some photos that aren't necessarily that clean or good, especially if it's a one-off shirt, I tell them, the photos are what they are, and I charge extra if I have to manipulate the photos or correct them or fix them. In the case of a remembrance design, a lot of times I'm going to clean it up and make it look a little bit better anyway, just because I do like to put a little extra love and attention into it. And I also know that this is something, it's not just like a one-time birthday shirt. This is something people will hold on to for a lifetime. So if I can make it a little bit better, then I will do that. Now this one looks like it'll be easy to cut out on Remove BG. So I'm going to leave that alone. Even this one looks like it may do well. So let's try those two. One, I'm just going to drag and drop. That's perfect. I could not have done that any quicker. So let's go ahead and download that one. And then we have one more here that I think will cut out well. And this one, it cut out her hair perfect. So we'll go ahead and download that one. Now the reason why the other one, I believe it could cut out that one that the photo is at an angle, but I want to fix it first so that it doesn't cut it out at an angle. And I'm trying to see if it's just rotated or if it's shifted. I think this works. Let's see if we can pull it in. And then I'll probably, if it can distinguish, and it may not be able to distinguish the hair right there. If it cannot, then we'll do something for that. And it's because it's a glare probably in the glass. It's probably taken from a photo with glass in it or on it. So let's see what it does for us. And yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be confused right there, but what we'll do, we'll edit that. As a matter of fact, we have to edit the high resolution version. I'm going to edit instead of download. And I'm just going to restore this entire area over here. I'm not trying to get technical with it because I'll probably clean that up better in Photoshop. All right, so everything else looks good though, so it saved me some work there. I'll just have to clean it up a little bit here in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and download that one as well. Now, when dealing with Remove BG, it may be that there's not a lot of difference in the background and foreground as far as the darkness here, because there's not a lot of light in the photo. So we can see if we can do a levels adjustment and just see if we can play around with the lightnesses and darknesses, and sometimes that will allow Remove BG to work better. So I'm going to try it right now just to see if it works better. And I'm going to file, save as, and this makes it easier for us to cut too. I'm still going to save it as a JPEG. And let's see if we can pull it into Remove BG now. Just drag and drop it, see what happens. Well, at least it's pulling the picture up now. Before, it still didn't do it. But before it didn't even drag the image in. So let's go ahead and do what we have to do to clean this up. I'm going to grab my pen tool, my stylus, and then the pen tool I'm going to select here on the left hand side. And I'm going to trace out. I'm clicking and I'm dragging because I'm creating curves. Now where this is going to get harder is around the hair, so I'm going to keep the area around the hair and around the flowers, because I'm not sure if we're going to be keeping the flowers or not. I think honestly we could do without the flowers if it wasn't like right there on her shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and just close that up. And I doubt we even need like her elbow and stuff there. But this is good practice and just playing with the pen tool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and create a layer mask based on that. And we'll do a mask here. And I'm going to rasterize the mask. I'm going to go in and do a little bit of cleaning up here. And we can use the quick selection tool and try to get it to give us some sort of understanding of what the subject is here. So I'm going to take the magic wand, or you could also use quick selection tool, and I'm going to hit select subject and see if the program can guess where the subject is. It kind of did that, sort of. It didn't do too bad. And the main area that I'm looking at that we're probably going to use is probably more portrait style right here. But it did also get a lot of this background, so I'm not completely happy with that, and it doesn't look too clean here. So let's see. I think I'm just going to end up drawing my own mask here. So on the mask, I'm going to grab my black. Well, grab my brush and fill it with the color black. And I'm going to bring my size down a little bit. You can also hold down Control-Alt, right-click, and if you bring it out, it increases the size. You bring it to the left, it decreases the size. And if you bring it up and down, it'll make it a harder or softer brush. But you have to hold down Control and Alt together and then right click instead of left click. So what I'm going to do, I have black loaded on my brush here. I'm just going to kind of come around. Because the image is a little fuzzy, we aren't going to be able to use our smart tools to kind of help us figure out where the edges are. So literally, I'm just painting them away. And you can do this with your mouse. You do not have to have a special stylus or anything like that. I just like the stylus for doing things like this. And I have like a screen that I am drawing on right now. And I have like a 13 version of this, a 13-inch version of this screen that I travel with. And then I have the 16-inch version that is a lot more legible, bigger image, but it is clunkier and chunkier to carry around. So I have two of them. I think my 13-inch one was maybe about $300, maybe $320. But if you're going to invest in another monitor anyway, it works as a monitor and a screen that you can draw on. So for things like this, it makes it a lot simpler than clicking around with the mouse. And really, I'm not being as neat as I probably could be, but we're also going to end up fading these off a little bit once I finally get the outline of the image that I want. And you'll probably still see there's some extraneous stuff on the outside, and we can take care of that later. And it's just a little difficult to see what's the hair and what's the background. And I think the same way it's tricking our eyes right now is the way that it was probably tricking Remove BG. So I'm going to make my own hair if I feel like it looks a little weird and I can't tell the background from the foreground. I'm just going to make my own kind of curl pattern and texture there. Okay. All right, now the hard part is going to be over here where the flowers are. Like I said, I'm not going to, particularly keep these flowers, but if I wanted to do a little cheat code here, I would make my brush bigger, still a soft brush, and I would just kind of fade out this area here just to fade out like the light switch and the door and everything. And I'm already gonna fade off the edge of the graphic here. And that way we still end up with some of the elements of the flower, but I don't have to cut out those flowers exactly like that. Okay, so where we are at this point, I think brightening it up still makes it look better. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this over into our template. And I should have made certain that I had the photo selected first before I brought it in, so that it won't drop it in some random layer where I can't tell where it is. It must be right there in that group. Let me open that up. And this is probably not going to be our main image. So I'm just going to place it in the corner till I figure out which one is the main image. And that would be the one that we already cut out with Remove BG. So I'm going to drag and drop it straight from my folder right onto my artboard. That's going to be the main image. And I'll go ahead and hit enter to lock in that size. And then I think we have this one and one more. Now this image is the one I was saying it probably could use a little bit of cleaning up over the face. And I'm not going to take too much time to do it, but I'm definitely going to make sure I cut out the area of his head. I'm going to use my pen tool. I'm going to click and drag. Click and drag. Whenever I want a sharp corner, I just click, but when I want a nice smooth curve, I click and drag. And because the background is so dark, I'm just pretty much making up where I believe there's hair, because honestly, I can't see, I can't tell. So I'm just gonna kind of make it up, hope I don't, misshape his head too much. When you're trying to draw someone's head, you always have the opportunity to mess it up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a selection there out of this. Let's feather it, we can feather it 2 pixels. And I'm gonna create a layer mask on just that photo. And I need to specify what type of layer mask, because by default, it's going to only show what I have selected. So I have to tell it to do a layer mask, and I want it to hide the selection. Okay. That looks okay, I guess. All right, and then the other thing is there's some glare here in the photo, which probably is not such a big deal on a shirt design, but we can kind of quickly see if we can do something about that. I'm just gonna see if I can just quickly blur it out a little bit. Oops, I'm on the mask layer. I'm gonna have to go ahead and rasterize that one. See what my strength is. 100% normal. I don't want to sample all layers. So it'll let me smudge maybe? Yeah, it's letting me smudge, but my blend is not working real well. And usually that's kind of like my little go-to quick method. So let's try something else. Let's do our clone, and I'm going to add a new layer, and then I'm going to sample the current envelope. And what I'm doing is I'm picking up from one location, hold down Alt and pick up, and then I stamp and paint in another location. And this is opacity, a little bit too much. It's not doing what I want. Yeah, I think something is going on with my functions because I'm doing the video and I'm doing Photoshop right now, because my Photoshop is not acting like it normally does. So I'm trying these different little methods. And then even my healing brush is looking funny. There we go. So healing brush is working a little bit. And I'm just trying to get the lines out of his face. So that you don't see that glare. And then it's still bringing the brown from the face into the hair. So it's not doing a good job picking up what I wanted to pick up. But it's taking the lines out a little bit. All right, then what I'm going to do over here in the hair area is I am going to paint. So I'm going to grab my paintbrush and I'm going to actually paint on this. This is a new layer, it's not on top of the photo. I'm going to Alt click and select this. It's not really a true black, more of a gray, a greenish gray at that. And I'm painting. And I'll bring down the opacity just a little bit. And if you can see, I'm actually literally painting onto the image. And I'll pick, since I'm doing my paintbrush, I can pick up a color. I'm picking up that brown. And I'm painting over parts of the face that have those lines that I didn't want to just try to get rid of. And then what I'll do is I'll bring down the opacity. And even this area right here on his face is like a glare, this brown spot here. And then when you have lower quality images, if you try to clean it up too much, it doesn't look believable because it looks too smooth. Go back. Turn this opacity down a little bit more. Here we go. So that took care of the lines enough for me to be convinced. I'll take it off. Those are the lines, bringing it back. And that's a really just crude type of fixing of the image there. But at least my lines aren't as prevalent as they were before. I still see them a little bit though. Just bothering me a little bit. And I don't mind they're on the shirt. That's fine. That looks better to me. I'm going to go ahead and take all of those and merge them. And then this way we can figure out where we want to put this image. And it's going to be a little off balance, so I'm probably going to have to choose 2 out of 3 of these. And we'll see. Helena, that's what it is. Now I remember your name. Let's see. Okay, there you are. Okay, I'm just now seeing these chats. So Helena, we're gonna do without the flowers, and or no, because I think that'll be too much to try to put it right in the middle. But a lot of times you can tell me what you like, what you think, and then we can go from there. It's always a little bit of a puzzle to put together. All right, so we'll bring this down. And are we doing this as an all over design or at 13 by 19? Because I'm thinking that if it's 13 by 19, then we may bring these 2 images down. Okay, keep going with both of them. I got you. So we're going to take this image here, and of course we're going to fade off the bottom down here. That's a really, really simple thing to do. We're going to do that on all 3 photos. I'm going to show you how quick that goes. It's as quick as adding a layer mask, getting your brush. In this case, I'm going to make my brush pretty good size brush, maybe like 800 pixels. And I have my soft round brush selected, and I'm just going to sweep it around the image. And I'm even doing this with my mouse. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the main photo, and I'm going to turn off the other photos while I'm working on the main photo just to make sure that I get good underneath the image and clean that up. So just one click gives me a layer mask here, and I'm painting on the layer mask, not the photo. You see how that just allows me to fade that off? And I think you got to this part, Helena. You got to this part just fine. So I think maybe with a little bit more practice, you would have been able to bring those other images in, clean them up, and do exactly what I'm doing right now. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to clean up this image, add a layer mask. I have my paintbrush tool selected. Now when I come over here to the side of the face, I'm going to probably have to choose a smaller brush because the brush is so big, it's going to basically take away a lot of her hair. So I'm going to make a brush a little bit smaller, and then that way when I brush it away, I still leave some of that hair there. And now we'll bring back the pictures with both of them, or the picture with both of them. And let's see here. I'm going to kind of make it look like one of these clouds is kind of covering this area. So I'll brush it away a little bit. And then I use a cloud brush. And instead of using my regular brush, you see I'm using that cloud brush to eat away at the image. It just makes it look like it's more in the clouds. And I'll do the same thing to this image. There we go. All right, so if we're not going to use the one with the flowers, we can go ahead and take that one off and see if our design looks balanced. And of course, we have a little bit more to do. Gotcha. All right, so let's add the text that we need to add to this. We'll do and I just realized that my condolences, love. This is a very recent transition. So my condolences to you, and we will do our best to honor Miss Carolyn Bunky Steele. So let's go ahead and add her name, okay? So if you have a template and it doesn't have words that you want on it, don't fret. You can literally copy and paste any set of text that already exists. So for instance, if I want to use the cursive letters, I'm going to choose the word forgotten. So I'm right clicking, choosing forgotten. I'm going to hold down Alt, click and drag. So now I have an extra forgotten. So I'm going to double click on it now just to replace it with the name. All right, and I'm going to do Control T to transform it. We'll bring it down. And of course, we can always bring down the thickness of the outlines. And then we'll reduce the but not forgotten just a little. We'll make space for the name. And here's another idea. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave it like it was. Let's create an alternate version, because I like to show you all how you can take the templates and switch them up. So while I have you all here, and not, it's not just a typical client, this is one of our fellow NA creatives, so I'm always going to show you all a little bit extra. So let's say we're going to take our text, bring our name up. We want to make sure we're in this photo save area. Now, if we're doing this for 13 by 19, we have a little bit more vertical space to play with. And I'm just squishing this a little bit, pushing it in from the sides. And then we'll turn on our 13 by 19 layer mask, which is automatically included in here. You just have to activate it. And this doesn't make it 13 by 19, this just makes it 13 by 19-ish, just to kind of show you how you can create a faded effect and not necessarily have a rectangular border. So we're going to go with that. And then we'll take the dates here, and we'll move the dates down, and let's copy that information. And the reason why I like to copy and paste is because I really want to make sure I have this information exact and complete. And let's cut that. And I'm cutting and pasting. If you can't see what I'm doing here, let me zoom in a little bit. I'm cutting and pasting the dates so that I don't type them in and risk mistyping something. And let's say we want to make this a little more substantial. So I'll double click on the FX. Let's give it a stroke of white. Instead of a gradient, we'll do a color. And then let's do a little bit of a drop shadow here. Then that way it makes the text stand out just a little bit. All right, and we can decide if we want these dates to be a little bit bigger. And then I'll make sure that we center it here. And you'll know it's centered because you'll see that magenta line pop up in the middle. Just kind of letting you know that you hit your document center. Oh, there it goes, right there. All right, so let's zoom out for a moment. We'll turn off our guides and let's turn off, well, let's fill it with the background color here just so we can see what we're dealing with. And there we go. Now, see how when I turned the purple background on, now all of a sudden I can see that my fade off didn't exactly happen like I wanted it to here. So I'm going to grab my brush. I still have the cloud brush selected. And I'll go to the layer mask for this particular image. And I'm going to keep going at the image until it starts to remove what I feel like blends in well. And of course, you're not going to be putting this on a purple shirt. You'll be putting this on a white shirt. So let's see, if we do a white color overlay, we'll be able to see what this looks like. All right, so it looks really nice, clean, and elegant. If we're going to do it as a 13 by 19, we'll end up clipping it within this area. If you plan on doing it as a an all-over shirt, then all you would do is deactivate this mask layer here. is right click and disable it. Okay, and Helena, let me know for this what you want to, if you want to change anything, what else you may want to see, or if this is good to go. I think I might need to either bring the image up or bring the wings down for this one, because we're dealing with like a bigger picture and not like a taller full body picture. I think I'm going to bring the wings down a little bit, make it a little more realistic towards the angle of the photo. And then we have front wings and back wings. So I'm going to take her and put her behind the front wings, but in front of the back wings. And the back wings and the front wings are linked. So if I do Control T and I happen to transform the back wings, it will also transform the front wings. So it gives me a little more space there. And then the reason why I like the back and the front wings, and my brother actually did this, because it makes it look like the wings are kind of wrapped around the individual. And if you have an image where the shoulders are like cut off by the photo, and you're limited to design in information in those areas, the wings over the shoulders really drape over that part and hide it really well. So just like the edge of her hair is kind of cut off by the photo, and the wings kind of tuck in and disguise that there. So let's double check one more time since I changed the wings. Let's turn our mask on and make sure that everything still flows here. And I think I can make my wings a little wider. And then I have something to kind of edge off the design. I like pushing it, as far as making the design look like something you wouldn't necessarily see on a vinyl shirt. So I like to kind of show off the sublimation. All right, so Helena, just give me an idea. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I was supposed to be saving this. I was supposed to save as and put it in my client file. And this way you'll have this for the future. And I'm going to also go ahead and clean up this outside edge here for the mask so you make no mistakes in including anything you don't want to include. I'm taking my black right now and I'm just cleaning this up so that you have no possibility at all of printing any of that background that does not belong in the 13 by 19 space. All right, great, great, great. So what I'm going to do, I'm saving this one as an all over, and I will also send you the file for the all over, and I'll send you the file for the 13 by 19. So this is going to show you how to break it down to a 13 by 19 because I saw that you had the all over template that you were working on. So let me show you what you would do. Other than activate this mask, so when you have your all over file, it's going to look like this. You can go ahead and activate the layer mask, which is, did I delete the layer mask? I sure did. I was supposed to disable it. I don't know why they put disable and delete right next to one another, and they put duplicate and delete right next to one another. Blows my mind. So we didn't mean to delete it. We're going to go ahead and enable the mask now. And we're going to choose our crop tool because we're getting ready to crop this image down. Now I'm going to hit Control S to save it as it is so that I save my all over version. It's going to be different from my 13 by 19 version. And I'm going to wait and let it finish saving before I do the next step. All right, now that we're saved, we're going to go ahead and take our crop tool. And we're going to enter a ratio up here of 13, up here at the top, 13 and 19, 13 by 19. And it automatically comes into the ratio, but this is not the size, the appropriate size. It's just the ratio. So when I pull it in from the sides, it is automatically keeping this 13 by 19. Now, I don't want to push it too much and try to cut it right up until the edge of the graphic. I'm going to leave a little bit of white space, because when I resize this as 13 by 19, I want to make sure that when I print it in Photoshop, that little thin margin that it needs, I want to make sure that it is keeping my photo from being clipped with a hard line edge, because I do all of this to fade off these images. The last thing I want is a hard edge on my graphic, especially when I talk so bad about seeing those hard edges and those cutoff images. Now we have a little playroom now. So for this 13 by 19, I have the option to, let's grab my mask. I'm going to do Control T. Oh, I got to unlink the mask here. So let me unlink the mask for just a moment. I think I did too many undos. Yep. That's fine. Let's go ahead and crop again. I guess we'll show you this cropping again. There we go. Down just a little bit. All right. So I'm going to hit enter, and I have to hit enter again. When you make sure that after you crop or before you crop, make sure that this delete crop pixels is off, especially, you know, while you're still designing, because you might want to bring a little bit more of the sky background over to the left, and the right side will be chopped off because you told it to delete the extra pixels. So we're going to keep the crop pixels just in case we need them. And in this case, let's go ahead and take this layer mask. I'm going to unlink it from my folder. I'll relink it as soon as I get it where I want it. And I'm holding down the shift key so that I can kind of move this a little disproportionately. But I'm just giving myself a little extra print room. I mean, if I have a 13 by 19 sheet, it doesn't take much more ink to fill in this little bit of faded off sky, but it looks a lot more substantial when I bring it up that high. And we'll do the same thing. Bring this white down here so I can really see what it looks like. So this is what the graphic would look like on a 13 by 19 page. And of course, we're familiar with how a 13 by 19 looks on the shirt. So this is a good size. And then what we want to do is, before we cropped it, we should have done the 13 by 19. Save as a 13 by 19. That way we have no chance of messing up our all over print. So you do your all over, get it finalized, dates and all, and then you come and make a 13 by 19 version of it if you were going to do all over shirts plus 13 by 19s. We'll give that a moment to save there. Control 0 is going to zoom it in to the extent of the artboard here. And that's it. Rosie, I don't know if you're asking, when you say how do you bring the design into the template, I have the free blank template. And if you're talking about bringing any kind of image into that template, I uploaded a video yesterday of how to prepare your artwork for submitting art ready work to the for the all over prints. And that's probably the video you want to watch, because even if you just have one image and you want to bring it in, that video shows you how to bring that image into the background. And then you'll have your guidelines on there showing you where you can and cannot put stuff. And then you turn your guides off. You'll keep the white outline, and then that is what you would submit as print ready artwork for the big all over prints. So check that video out. I think it was really helpful because a lot of people want to submit the art, but I like to teach you how to make your art final because I have to charge at least a $15 fee when I open a file. If it's not ready to print, I have to charge at least $15 just because I have to even contact you and say, hey, this is not ready to print. Do you want me to fix it, or do you want a chance to fix it and then resubmit it to me? So more than likely, I will be doing some type of shifting to it. So I usually clean it up, slight cleanup. I charge $15 for. If I have to go redesign some stuff, then of course it takes more time, and that's a greater design fee. So I made a video just showing you how to pull things into that blank template, okay? And anyone else? Helena, do you have any more questions, or you need to see anything else that I do with this besides saving it? And I'm going to go ahead and send this over to you via email. Right. And also you can let me know if that, well, you'll have both. You'll have the 13 by 19 version and the all over version. Now, technically, let me take off the 13 by 19 because it's not 13 by 19 yet. I forgot a very important step. I'm going to go to image size. Right now it's probably more of a 20 by 30. So I'm going to turn it into a 13, and it automatically adjusts the height to 19, and then I'll say okay. And now this file is going to be much smaller. So the 13 by 19 file is going to be about 16 megs, and the all over template is probably like 70 something megs. So very, very vast difference in the file size there. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. That's my 13 by 19, Control 0, zoom in. And we'll send this one over to you. Okay. And Rosie, if you already have, if you purchased a t-shirt, if you purchased any template from me, then it's more than likely going to have the blank shirt design in it, unless let's say you purchase a 13 by 19 and you want to drag it over into the all over. There is a video for that too. So I show you how I take any size art, and then I'll make a 13 by 19 to all over, or I'll make an all over and turn it into a 13 by 19. So that's going to be a very helpful video for you too. And on that video, I show you how to take the 13 by 19 image, drag it over into the all over shirt template, and then kind of make sure that your artwork is going to span out into those other areas of the shirt. Okay. All right, love. So that's it for this here. I have so many other things. I'm gonna start catching up on some custom work there that that's been lingering. So we're gonna get caught up with that. But I did want to let you all know we're doing a class tomorrow. This is not. It is in the academy, but this is an exclusive class. It's like a bonus class. So if you don't know about the academy, we have 4 courses that we do every month, or a course every week. So of course there's going to be 1 month where you're a month or so where you're going to get some bonus content there. But we do a course every single week, and right now we are on week 4. So that means we're going to be on session number 108. And I'll bring up the academy real quick because I keep having questions about it. So I keep talking about it to help you all understand, and hopefully to gain some better understanding of how I can, pull this stuff together and make it easier for you to learn. So I'm learning just as well as you're learning. I'm learning because I'm learning how to teach. So your feedback is important to me. You're welcome, love. You're welcome, Helena. This was an honor to be able to help you with this, okay? and those emails are slowly loading. They're gonna come to you via Google Drive link because they're gonna be pretty large. And speaking of Google Drive, I do want to recommend that you all get some type of external hard drive, or at the very least a cloud storage. Like I use the Google Cloud storage, and then I also have like a hard drive that backs up as well. So I want to encourage you all to do that because it is a sad day when things shut down because you've taken up all of the RAM or all of the hard drive space on your computer. And I know that. I pushed my computer to the limit and it got so full one day it wouldn't even start up. So, and that was in the middle of a crazy, football season. So you don't want that to happen to you. Go ahead and be prepared for that, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna go real quickly over the Academy and to let you know what the difference is between the Academy and the Innate Lab. I have rebooted the sale today because the developer was on the website last night fixing some stuff, and some people said that they kept getting the 404 error when they were trying to check out. So I extended it for today, and the 10-minute templates are still $9.99 instead of $20. So you have another opportunity to grab a couple things that maybe you wanted to grab. I was hoping to get some more things uploaded, but I'm just pushing it and I can't push it no more. So I know when I pushed it too far, so I'm gonna end up taking a couple days off so that I can get some things right at the shop. And once we get those things together, then I can come back and do get some more design going for you all. But I do also want to show you that I did update the design and print services too, which is what we're doing today, which is custom design. You'll see that here on the website, and I updated it so now we have an option to do if you need a 1 hour, 24 hours, pretty much the next day service. And then the standard is 2 to 3 business days. I say 3 business days, but usually it's 2 to 3 business days so that it gives me time to see what it is that you need. But most of the time, if I can, I will get to it sooner, especially if you let me know that it's something that's time sensitive. But if you want to ensure that it gets done in a certain time, then choose the 1 hour or 24-hour turnaround, and then that way you make sure you have your work early. Okay. So that's the Innate Lab. Now the Academy is a different brain. It's a different website. It's academy.innatelab.com, and this is where all of the courses are and the membership. So if you have a membership, you get these weekly courses that come through. This is the course that we're going to do tomorrow. This will not be offered as a template for anyone else, as I'm trying to create this exclusive content so that people that want to learn in these settings have a little bit of a competitive edge over everyone else. So I will be selling prints, like transfers of this design, but I won't be doing the full on like sell the template to the general population. This is only going to be for those that purchase the course. The course is tomorrow, and then you can do the replay of the course. The replay of the course is $50, and this is just going to be one of those ones where I teach you a lot of my tips and tricks, and we go into not just editing this template, but I'm going to show you how I do some of the really quick cartooning. We're not going to cartoon anything. I don't teach cartooning. I don't intend to teach Illustrator anytime soon. I want to get all the way good with Photoshop, and but there are some apps, and there's a website that I use to create the cartoon image on the left, and I don't know if you can see it too well, but it works really well and it works really cool, and I think you can use it for your customers. And I try to show you ways that you can incorporate free tools or very inexpensive tools to grow your business. All right, so that's the class tomorrow, but if you want to sign up for the membership, it says you can learn more here. There are 2 versions of the membership. There's a $30 a month and a $60 a month. The only difference between the $30 and $60 one is that the $60 a month is it includes a $60 credit towards any one live course Of course, it can't be the exclusive ones. It has to be one of the ones that's in the plan for that month. So in the curriculum for that month, you can use $60 credit to attend one of the live classes. So it pays for itself in and of that. But you also get the 4 courses pre-recorded every single month, and they all come with templates. So that's a $200 value every single month that you'll be getting just by unlocking 4 courses every single month, or 1 course per week. So to me, I try to make something that gave you all a lot of tools. As a matter of fact, I think it will even show you what's in the courses. I think it does. It gives you a content of what it is. And if you can preview and see, oh, okay, well, that's what 101 was. You can go to 102 and you can preview that one. That's our 102. So 101 through 104 you get immediately. That means as soon as you sign up for the Academy, you get access to 4 templates with 4 tutorials immediately. And like I said, that's worth $2,000. That's worth $200 because each of those courses are $50 with the templates. And then 7 days later, you will unlock Photoshop course number 105, which were the socks. Oh, why I jumped back up to 2? I was trying to get to 5. There we go. So we have the socks 105. Then 14 days later, you will unlock 106. Then 21 days later, you will unlock 107. So this kind of gives you a way to, as you go, learn a little bit, take it in a little bit, not be so overwhelmed with all the content available at one time. And then it allows you also to have access to future content. So the sooner you join the Academy, the closer you are in the current courses that we're doing. If you wait a little while, then you will start at, with your 101 to 104, you won't get 105 until 7 days after you join. So if you start now versus starting 3 months from now, you'll be behind 3 months of content by the time you join, which is not a bad thing. But just letting you know that some of the things that we're doing are going to be related to things that you want to learn more more urgently. So if that's the case, then you want to stay on top of the subscription. You want to be pretty much in the realm of what we're currently working on, and you don't want to have to, like, we're on course 120 and you really want course 120, but it doesn't unlock for you until 2 months down the road. But you would have to buy it just to have it early, and I don't want y'all to have to do that. If you stay on the course of what we're creating right now, then basically you graduate from freshman to sophomore to junior at the same rate of your other cohorts. Now, when we have new classes come in, of course, they're going to come in at a little bit later rate, and they'll trickle along this same type of path. But all of this stuff is timeless. You're going to learn this stuff and you'll be able to use it forever. Okay? Let's see here. Was there anything else that y'all wanted me to talk about or explain while y'all have me live? Because after this, I'm calling it a night. I'm tired. I am so tired. All right, my loves. So I don't see any other questions right now, but you all know that you can ask questions in the Innate Creatives group. Make sure y'all check out the Innate Lab ink. It's called True Colors ink. So y'all do your girl a favor and try it out. Next time you need some ink, try it out. To me it gives the best blues that I've tried yet. I'm not a fan of blurples, like bluish purples, so I would get that a lot. So this particular formula gives better and more true blues. It gives true reds, and it also has a true black. So you don't have that black that can look red or green or brown, even purple. Sometimes the blacks look purple. It gives a more consistent black there. And it does not require ICC profiles. And I have a whole video showing you how to fill up the cartridges with the ink. These are also EcoTank bottles. So if you happen to have an EcoTank printer, all you have to do is twist the top off and pop them right onto your EcoTank printer. I have a video for that. And then there's also a video where I show you how to set up your color for your printer from your software, Photoshop, and then also going all the way back to your monitor. So the way color works is it's trying to pull the color data from your monitor. So you need to calibrate your monitor first, and then you want to calibrate your printer or choose the correct settings for the printer. And once you choose the correct settings from the printer, the last step is to choose the correct settings for Photoshop, and then print from Photoshop every time you need to print something. And that will give you that's the best formula. And if you watch that video, I tell you everything to select, but that's going to be your absolute best formula for getting consistent results with sublimation. All right. So that's it, loves. I don't see any other questions or anything, but I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Helena, I'm sending those files finally uploaded. So I'm going to go ahead and push the send button right now before I talk so much and forget and end up passing out and going to sleep. And I'm like, oh, I meant to send that to you last night. So again, I offer my deepest condolences. I hope that you do a really, really great service to the family and loved ones, and they're really honored and proud of your work as well. All right, love. So that's it. I know I sound like really dreaded and tired, but I am very appreciative of you all. And I will be back in the mix tomorrow to stir up some new stuff. So thank you all. I love y'all for real. And just for now, bye.